Welcome. Today we have the second part of our comparative advantage in trade module, which you have all read, finished, and understood completely. So today we're going to practice, right? Did you read it? James? Finished reading the book? Excellent. Okay. So I want to point out to you before we start that I finished marking your homework, but it's not great. It's only around 55% completion so far. Is it even 55? I don't know, but it's very, very low. And even the questionnaire, the get to know you questionnaire, that was completed by 10 of you, 10 out of 17. So that's pretty low. And I do read this and it informs my teaching. So for example, I learned that if I don't give William and Eric chocolate, they're not going to study hard in class. So I came prepared with chocolate. So please study hard in class, okay? And I saw that some of you are also interested in economics as a field of study later on in life. So that's great. I hope you study hard. If you have any questions, you can always come talk to me. We can go wider than what's on the AP exam. Cool. Today, we'll start with a retrieval. Forgot to give this to you. So I have this retrieval, which you can start doing now. So after this, the PPT, which is very short. We're just refreshing our memory there. We'll watch a video from our friends at MRU. Then we'll do some questions related to those, to the content from the video. And then we are going to have a break. Hopefully that's enough stuff for the first period. In the second period, I'll give you some assignments that you can work on in pairs. Hopefully, again, we'll pair up successfully like last time. Someone who feels good about this topic and someone who thinks they need a little bit of help around this topic. And then the Venn diagram. Do we know what a Venn diagram is? Yes? Two circles overlapping. We'll do that about comparative advantage in trade, and then some calculations which can be easy or hard, depending on how you feel about it. There are two worksheets. And then we'll talk about the homework. I saw that a couple of you already registered for Khan Academy. I didn't check who it was. When you have a chance, when you have access to your devices, please finish registration there. It will allow us to use that resource, which is a pretty good resource. It has videos, it has questions, and the questions come with explanations. When you give the wrong answer, it will tell you why that seems like the right answer, but it is in fact wrong. On Monday, I gave you a lecture on comparative advantage in trade, and we read those statements. I can, I can, I can. So let's check how good you feel about those objectives today. Who feels they can explain how trade leads to gains for someone, an individual or an economy? Feeling good about it? Maybe not. Okay. The second part we have to learn is defining absolute advantage. Can you define absolute advantage? Can you explain what it is? Yes? Yes? Yes, yes, yes? Okay. So definition is not a problem. Comparative advantage, it's a little bit trickier, but yes? Mostly yes? Okay. Using the PPC model to find out who has absolute advantage. Can we do that? Yes? Okay, good. And using it to find who has comparative advantage. Yes? Okay, cool. So you know the harder stuff, you don't know the easy stuff. Okay. You don't know why we're doing it. You don't know about these questions, huh? I can describe how comparative advantage determines how they should specialize, the partners. Do we know that? Which country chooses which product is determined by comparative advantage. Do you know how that works? Maybe, maybe not. Okay. And calculating the terms of trade that are good for the seller and the buyer. William says yes. Okay, William. While we are refreshing our memory about these things, there are two big questions that should be in the back of your head. Trying to understand, why are we learning all this stuff? So this lesson can help us understand how individuals and economies deal with the problem of scarcity. We know that's the basic problem in all economies. How does how does it work? How do economies deal with that problem? And the second question is, why do countries trade with each other? Why do people trade with each other? Why don't we have autarky? What's in it for them? Okay, so this presentation is structured to try to answer or refresh your memory about each one of these objectives. Eric.
The endpoint.
The endpoint is the opportunity cost. So this one is 5 and this one is 10. Which one of those is the opportunity cost? One over another. Which one over the other? Which one over which? This is good A and this is good B. Does it matter? Other over it. What about it over other? It doesn't matter. Okay. The next one, absolute and comparative advantage. Maybe you can tell me that yourselves instead of me explaining that, because you said you know it. You did say you know it. So maybe David, Ricardo, absolute advantage. Do you remember?
Yes. Is maybe for example.
Yes, for example is good. We'll start there.
These two.
Those two?
Yes. And the Ansonia.
Jasonia. Mm-hmm.
Ansonia is absolute.
Has absolute advantage.
Yes.
In good A.
In good.
How do you know?
Because 3 and 10.
What's the relationship between 3 and 10?
3 is less than 10.
3 is less than 10, or 10 is larger than 3, meaning they can produce more of good A, and that's what absolute advantage is. The ability to produce more of a good. So, Dora, who would have absolute advantage in good B? Williamsburg or Jasonia? Who can produce more of good B? Williamsburg. So 6 is greater than 5, meaning they have an absolute advantage. That's it. Whoever can produce more has the absolute advantage. In absolute terms, right? That's where it comes from. In absolute terms, who can produce more? The comparative advantage. Kimmy, yes?
It's the person with less opportunity cost.
A lower opportunity cost. Yeah, person, country, company has a lower opportunity cost compared to the other individual company or country. Okay, so that's what we have in this table. I have some missing words that you can help me fill in. I don't remember mutual advantages. I remember absolute advantage and one of those. There's no mutual advantage. That's correct. And this one doesn't work with the in. Exchange in. That's good. What do you think this long one is? And maybe you can tell by the length of the word that that's probably in, of, to, one of those words, huh? Do you have the book? It's easier with the book. If so far you were unable to do any of the words, maybe it's time to look for a partner. Yeah? If it feels too hard, it needn't be too hard. Okay. So you're choosing the book as your partner. That's okay. But you can also talk to Nora. Yeah? Specialize, that's right. Specialize in their production according to their Nora, according to their, you specialize to their absolute advantage. Is it absolute advantage? How do we specialize? Comparative advantage. We get all of those points. Who wants to get 100% on the exam? Yes, everybody. Yes, exactly. To do that, we need to learn those skills. Now I'll play you the video. It's about 12 minutes long, and it will have Chinese subtitles. Following the video, we'll answer some of the questions, and the questions are here. Don't look at the questions now, you don't need to. They are here in case you need translation. I know that some of you have those devices to translate text. That's why I printed the text for you, so you can translate if you need that. Because the Kahoot will be quick. Kahoot is like, who's fastest? Who's fastest? Bam, it's done, right? So we'll do that later. Now the video.
Homework question to test how well you're doing in understanding the concept. Let's get going.
Not now.
Comparative advantage to the theory of trade. It explains why people trade and which goods people should trade if they want to maximize their wealth.
But that's okay. I have the video downloaded, but with no subtitles. Should we do that? Yes? Is it okay to follow without subtitles? Not you. In English, is it okay? Only English okay? Not okay? Not okay. Not okay? No, I'm asking you. You can tell me. You can tell me. If you need assistance, you can maybe talk to a classmate. I need.
啊，有比就我对了。
We got one.
And why?
You're the top student. Yes. Okay. So both natural endowments, like resources that the country has, access to the sea, climate, all that kind of stuff. Yes. How much stuff you can produce depends on resources. Yes. It also depends on the institutions you have, the court system, protection of property rights, that kind of stuff too, right? Financial institutions, how easy it is to get loans. All of those things help the country produce more stuff. So both A and B. I think vocabulary is something easily done on your own at home. With vocabulary, the only thing that matters here that's additional is that you should use English first and then Chinese translation as well. So you try to translate it. It's also best done in teams. So we can do that if there's time. Calculations. 1. If you think that you need more help with this topic, do calculations 1, because it has more explanations. If you think that you don't need all that explanation, you can do calculations 2 first. And then when you're done, you can do calculations 1. Okay? Yes? So if you feel strongly that you are very good at this, you can do calculations 2 straight away. I like how brave you are, William. Very nice. Yes. Kimi chose the easier one. And I see Kevin, Eric, Rocky doing the harder one. Carry 2. Now I have the time to help you individually. So who wants my help? Who? Do you want help? I can help you. Yes? I'll sit down next to you and we can work on it together. Let me just get a pencil. Sorry guys, she was first. We don't need those right now. Yep, we just need this. Okay, so we have some numbers here, and it tells us what that is, right? It's the opportunity costs. Cool. Who has lower opportunity cost in producing cell phones? Korea, okay? So you can use the math symbols like that, right? Try on your own. Try. And then come see me if you're stuck somewhere. Write down the questions that you have for me and come see me. Any day after lunch. I put my timetable there on the board so you can see when my tutorials are. Most days after lunch you can come find